Good Thursday morning, everyone. Schuyler Callihan here with another episode of Between the Ears. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on our YouTube page at Mountaineers Now. While you're there, give us a thumbs up. And then head on over to our X account and follow us there at the same exact handle. And you can follow me at Callahan_. We've got the spring game coming up here on Saturday, just a couple of days away from getting a little bit of a sneak peek at the 2024 West Virginia Mountaineers. And today we're going to talk a little about that defense, what to expect, what we should look for, so on and so forth. Tomorrow we'll hit on the offense. So first off, defensively, I thought West Virginia took several steps last year. I mean, really, let's be honest, the bar was set pretty low by the previous year's team in 22. But that group also had some injuries. They had some depth concerns going into the season. Last year's group, you kind of felt like it would be better. You just didn't know. We didn't know that Beanie Bishop was going to be a consensus All-American. We didn't know that, the front seven was going to be as deep as it was, particularly that defensive line that Andrew Jackson rolled out, 9 or 10 guys on any given Saturday. I don't know if that can be duplicated, but it was a very, very talented group that took several steps and became one of the somewhat better defenses in the Big 12. This year, I have extremely high expectations for this group. And I think that's only going to increase as we get to the summer months, transfer portal season again. I think they're going to add another defensive back, probably another defensive lineman, maybe even two at one of those two spots. But looking at this group up front, Eddie Vescarinen, Sean Martin, Fatorma Mulba, Hammond Russell. Unfortunately, Corey McIntyre is going to be out. I don't want to assume, but sounds like that's a long-term deal. But that group up front, I think, is really the heartbeat of this team. The linebackers are, without a doubt, the most talented. But that group up front has to be the heartbeat of this team. They need to get to the quarterback. They need to set the tone. They need to be disruptive, and I think that they will. Eddie V talked about it a couple of days ago when he spoke with the media that, look, last year was kind of like that welcome to college football moment. He couldn't believe that he was actually in the position that he was in, being a starter at then a Power 5 level, now Power 4. And it was kind of like a pinch himself type of moment. He was just kind of soaking it in. This year, it's not that. He's full go, 100%, not thinking like that. He's thinking as if I'm trying to get to the next level. And we've heard a lot of really good things about Eddie V this spring. Neil believes he can be an all-league type of player. He also believes that Sean Martin could be an early draft pick next year, which he does. Let's be honest here. Neil doesn't just throw around words like that. He doesn't throw around praise like that whatsoever. And you look at the production that Sean's had, you're kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, I can see it, but is it going to actually happen? Last year, he didn't have the sack production. He didn't have the really just the overall production I think everyone expected, including himself. It was kind of a disappointment. But does he take that step this year where he's not only improved, but he's one of the better players on this team and in the league? They seem to believe that he will be. They think he can be dominant at times. Hammond Russell, Fatorma Mulba, I don't know that you're going to find a better interior tandem of rotation guys, obviously, with the three down front, but that West Virginia's had here, at least in Neil Brown's tenure. It's definitely the best. And I think there's going to be one more, again, that gets added to that group with the injury of Corey McIntyre. But that's the heartbeat of that team. Sean Martin has got to take that next step seriously. Like it can't be just a little tiny little step. It's got to be a gigantic step to where he is getting 7, 8 sacks on the season. He's got double digit TFLs. He's in the backfield constantly. He's opening things up for Eddie V and Fatorma and Hammond, the linebackers. He has got to be that type of dude. If he becomes that guy, this defense, its potential is through the roof. Moving to the linebackers, obviously, like I said a minute ago, I think it's the most talented room or talented unit on that defense. Ben Cutter, Trey Lathan, Josiah Trotter, Reed Carrico, Caden Bizer. I mean, this is unreal depth. It's not quite probably where they want it to be, but it's the best position it's been in since they got here in 19. And Josiah Trotter, I think a lot of people are probably forgetting a little bit about Josiah. And even if they're not, they probably just don't understand the level of impact that this kid's going to have. He is phenomenal. He will be an impact player in 2024. And I honestly don't think it's going to take him that long to be an all league type player. His dad played for over a decade in the NFL. His brother's going to be getting drafted this weekend. High, maybe early on day 2. He's next. And he's just as good as the other, as his brother and his dad were. Josiah Trotter is huge, getting him back healthy. And he moved to the bandit spot. You got Ty Bradley, who I thought really kind of came on strong at the end of last year. Now he knows what to expect. He knows what's being asked of him in this defense and in this scheme. And I think that kind of showed a little bit in the bowl game. He made some terrific plays. Obviously, the one-handed snagged interception, but he had some other good plays in that game too. Ty French, who I believe is one of the most pure pass rushers that this coaching staff has had. And if you can throw in Obi on Wuka in there, the true freshman, don't know how much to really expect out of him, but he is super, super talented. That's a good group too. And then the secondary, you bring back Aubrey Burks. You add guys like TJ Crandall. You add guys like Montre Miller, who's coming back off an injury. Jacoby Spells, even though he's injured right now, he should be back at some point. You have Aiden Garnes from Duquesne, the Northwestern transfers, Jaheim Joseph, Garnett Hollis, who, by the way, I believe is an NFL draft pick, maybe second round type player. He's that good. He's big, he's long, he's fast, physical. That's a talented group, too. And again, I think they're going to add somebody there. You add so much experience, so much versatility in that back end with those guys. There's a lot of cross training going on, but these 3 units are at spots now depth wise that they've never been at altogether. Now again, last year you had the defensive line that was rolling in 9 or 10 guys. Linebacking unit has really never been there. The defensive backs, the corners or safety spots, they really haven't been there either. But this is the first time where you're starting to see depth accumulate at all 3 levels. And when you can have that, you feel a little bit better about yourself going into the season. So what am I looking for during the spring game on Saturday? I mean, defensively, let's just be real here. It's not a whole lot. It's mainly just guys playing the ball well in flight. It's just guys taking good angles. It's guys being in the right spots. That's pretty much all you can ask for your defense in the spring game. They're not tackling. They're not going to be hitting very hard. It's basically 2-hand touch. So this is more catered for the offense, but defensively, you're getting reps. You're seeing what it looks like as a live picture than just a still picture. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to see guys playing hard, playing fast, getting to their spots, taking good angles, playing the ball well in flight, and beating the guys up front on the offensive line. Defensive line, that's probably where my eyes are going to be most, because that's where the most action will be allowed. Obviously, the quarterbacks will not be allowed to be sacked in this game, but if they can win some one-on-one matchups up there, particularly Sean Martin, that will be something that I think West Virginia fans should be excited about, if he can do that and if he can dominate. I wouldn't worry if Wyatt Milam, gives up 2 or 3 sacks to Sean Martin. Wyatt Milam's really good. That just means Sean Martin's pretty good too. So that's about it for me today. Like I said, not a whole lot to expect out of the defense in this game, but the defense is in a much better position than what it was a year ago. It's only going to get better, and we'll see. We'll talk about it on Monday. We'll recap the whole spring game, but tomorrow we'll be back to talk the offensive side of the ball, what to look for there. There's probably more excitement on that side. That's why I saved it for Friday. So make sure you hit the subscribe button to know when that video drops. Hit like and follow us on X at that same handle at Mountaineers Now. I'm Schuyler Callihan. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.